Booker's, $100. Macallan 12, $85 to $100. Lagavulin 16, $110. Eagle Rare, incredibly hard to find and also around $90. Springbank 18, also really hard to find, but when you do, it's $260. What do all those have in common? They're pretty high priced for what's in the bottles, and you should not have to pay that much money for good whiskey. So, I got 4 whiskeys today, 2 bourbons, 2 scotches, all under 75 bucks. And if you put them head to head with these 5, they could beat them or get really close to them. So, let's get into it. Okay, first up, my guy's 1792 Full Proof, 125 proof bourbon. Now, the only knock on this guy is it's kind of hard to get your hands on, but when you do, it should net you around $65 to $70, and it is incredible for this price. It smashes Booker's out of the park for me. It is so freaking good. It also beats Old Forest from 1920 that's behind me that I have held in high regard for a long time. This is incredibly rich, incredibly full, really complex, nice fruit, sweetness. The cherry syrupy maraschino vibes hits really hard with this. Their mash bill is their high rye mash bill. It is the 74% corn, 18% rye, and 8% malted barley. And the rye influence isn't that poppy here, so it shouldn't scare you away. Really nice caramel vanilla vibes in here, and the fruit is just magnificent. This is a great bottle. The only, again, dig here is just not that easy to find the full proof one. You might have to find a single barrel one at your store. So an alternative for this one would be the 1792 small batch. It's about half the price. It's like 36 bucks. It's not gonna be as full. It's 46% alcohol, but it's the same mash bill. It's just not quite as rich as you would expect, but it's a good starter whiskey, especially for that price point. And if you're in the Manhattans, make it for that as well. So it's good cocktail whiskey. But there's number 1, 1792 Full Proof. Number 2, Penelope Toasted. Now, Penelope has been getting a big name recently, and actually MGP just purchased them. But this is their Toasted series. It's limited edition. Now, it's 100 proof, so it's 50% alcohol. If you don't know anything about toasted barrels, it's just a lighter toast on the inside of the barrel, not a full char. That normally is supposed to bring a vanilla note into this whiskey, and this is around $70. So really good. It's a little higher up than like those entry-level ones, but what's in here is very good. I think this one personally is better than the Architect. The Architect's probably $60 to $65, so $5 to $10 more for this isn't too bad, but this thing is very rich, nice caramel, nice rye spice on here. Their mash bill here is 74% corn, 21% rye, and 5% malted barley. So a bunch more rye influence here than in the 1792, but it's not that bad. It's really nice cinnamon, some nutmeg, and it really blends in nicely with the rest of that caramel. A little bit of fruit here as well. It's really nice, and I like the mouthfeel on this one. With the toasted barrels, you get a lot more of the actual full oak, and it gets you a little oily, so it coats your mouth and your tongue really well, and the finish lasts a long time for this. So I think for $70, a nice 50% alcohol bourbon is really good, so there's number 2. Okay, number 3, I don't have it, but boom, Craigellachie 13. It is a Speyside. 13 years, and it's a mix of ex-bourbon and ex-sherry finished barrels. And at 92 proof or 46% alcohol, it is very smooth and very inviting. Speyside whiskeys are generally a little more brighter and floral, so they're really easy to take some of the barrels that are used when they mature and or finish them. So with this one, really nice high fruit influence here. And with the ex-bourbon, you're getting the caramel, you're getting the brown sugar, you're getting those like biscuity grain vibes here, and it all encompasses a really nice bouquet of flavors. And with it being around $62 to $70, it's a great foray into the Scotch world. And because it's not peated, you're not gonna be scared away from it, because I know some people getting into Scotch are like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be smoky and gross. But if you're not, it is a very solid whiskey, and I need to go out and get one. There actually is one at my store. I want to grab it because I don't think Craigellachie is talked about enough. I think they're pretty underrated, and if you haven't tried them yet, go out and do it. I think after I record this video, I might go out there and even buy one myself because, again, very floral, very fruity, and the ex-bourbon influence is really nice as well. So it might be a nice little tie-in for you for those who don't like Scotch, but it's smooth, it's low ABV, you should be able to drink it really nicely. So there's number 3. Number 4, Lagavulin 8. I don't have this one, but I had the 16 and the 11. But Lagavulin 8 is 96 proof, 48% alcohol. So it's 5% more alcohol than the 16. And Lagavulin peats their malts at 40 ppms. So about the same as Bruichladdich Port Charlotte behind me. and they are very good. The 8, however, because it's not been matured as long as the 16 or the 11, the smoke is actually a little subtle there, and there's not a whole lot of extra flavors going on, but it's 65 to 70 bucks. The 16 is like 110, and I think the 11's around 90 or 85 bucks. So good bargain for the 8 if you want to get into Lagavulin. So people want to call it the poor man's 12, but you know what? That's fine. You got to start somewhere with this stuff. So well, on the palate, subtle smoke, very earthy. I always find the Lagavulin spirit to be really, really earth tones, maybe a little bit of citrus or just a lot of oak and spice influence there. If you want a peated Islay with a little more character for the same price point, you can go to Port Charlotte 10 behind me. That's for another video for another time. But I think where Lagavulin 8 beats out the Lagavulin 16 is on the proof scale. 96 proof versus 86 proof. So it's a big difference there. And because the smoke isn't as much in the 8, the extra proof carries one of those flavors through the palate and through the finish. So I think for a $65 to $70 Lagavulin, it's a pretty good deal there. So there's 4 whiskeys that are all under 75 bucks. If you've got 4 whiskeys you want to talk about that are also under 75 bucks, let me know, comment down below. We're all out here trying to find the best whiskeys for the value, so I hope these videos help you guys do that. If you like this video, give it a like. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.